Alright, welcome back to part 2 of the Andy Rutledge design view. Creativity is not design test. So we are looking at A and B, and I was saying that A is better because it's asymmetrical and it leads your eye from left to right, and B is symmetrical because it is balanced straight across. So we're on number 10. Following the logic you employed in the previous question, why might you employ a gradient as a visual texture or a gradation 2 as a layout mechanism in design? Now, hopefully you're familiar with a gradient. I wonder if I can bring up a gradient here. Alright, here, this is some nice versions of gradients. Now, this one goes from dark to lightest. You don't want this on your webpage. You gotta raise your right hand and promise me that you will never give me a gradient that looks like this. For professional gradients, let me go back to images. Let me find a good one. Alright, this is the type of gradient you want to use if you're using it in art. Not necessarily pink and purple, but this is subtle. It goes from a dark to a subtle light, and probably right in this range, that top range. You want it very, very soft. Keep your gradient soft. Don't be really loud and very crazy with them. That's amateur. See this? This one shouts amateur. You don't want to do that. Alright, let's go back to our design view. What is the purpose of a grid in a layout? There is a book that hopefully I put the URL up for called Grid Systems. I think it should be required in all sort of design classes like this because it's about using squares to lay out information in the way that the human mind works and that the human eye operates. So the grid in the layout is to give emphasis to one area, de-emphasize others, and lead the eye through the composition. Alright, number 12, since the relationship between the individual objects remain constant in both figures, what has changed in figure B? Well, of course, they tilted it, and being on that vertical axis makes it seem like it has movement and more energy than A. So moving right along, describe at least 3 differences in the way to lead viewer's eye into and through a layout composition along a specific path. What mechanisms could be employed to accomplish this? Of course, dominance, having a darker area. We use something called tick marks, small areas of darkness or small areas of brightness, to also capture the attention. Sometimes something like a bullet or a little bitty graphic can be extremely effective. And if you look at very, very good websites, they'll use little bitty graphics throughout the entire thing to bring a sense of cohesion and lead your eye through. So the devil's in the details. In the image below, which object is influencing another object? Well, that one's kind of tough. I'm not sure. I would probably say this one is causing this one to bend because everything else isn't quite relating to one another. And it says, does it influence you to perceive in the example above imply motion or a static state? I think I see like bubbles. These seem like they're moving to me, especially over here. So let's keep going over here till I find a good one. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. Ooh, this one is a tough one. 21. Compare the layouts below. Which one possesses a clear hierarchy of information? How is this accomplished? In other ways, could the same effect be accomplished? Okay, which one has the hierarchy? Where does your eye go? Well, it goes right here to the headline, right? And then you have this nice big picture. So this is a hierarchy, and then you go throughout the page here. And what other ways could the same effect be accomplished? Well, you could use the grid system and change this around, like this heading could be right here and this image could be below. There's some different ways, but this one is losing us, right? Because it's too balanced, it's too symmetrical. And which of these examples is the logo larger? And yes, that is a trick question. Discuss. It depends on if they mean this is the logo or if that's the heading image. Hopefully it's not the logo. You would never want a logo to be this big on a page. This up here should be the logo. It should be the top left-hand side. And it probably should be the same size no matter where it's at. Oh, I guess they were meaning it down here. Okay. No, it's the same size as it should be. So he doesn't give any explanations on his page. You're supposed to figure it out. And but he's got like some great resources here. Hopefully this gets you to thinking a little bit out of the box about web design. And that's all I got for you today.